Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are here in Garlemald, and I wanted to do some quests. I want to start with a commissary officer, because this is the last Aether current, I think. And after that, I remember this quest unlocked several other quests, but not as many as that it would be for a full episode, so I guess we look around Camp Broken Glass after that. Well, now here's a sight that warms the heart. I never thought I'd have the honor to meet a hero of your pedigree, let alone beg for your aid. You see, I've got a shipment of supplies to send down to Tabber's Den, and having someone who knows the lay of the land by my side would go a long way to ensure its safe delivery. I'd defend myself, but I have to carry the bloody thing. If you'd be so kind as to escort me, I assure you I'll make it worth your while. Well then, I'll be waiting outside the gates of the camp. Come meet me when you're ready, but don't take too long, monsters abound in these parts. There you are. I knew you'd have a heart to help a soul in need. The commissary officer is now accompanying you. Keep it aside in order to proceed with quest objectives. Oh, my friends aren't going to believe who's protecting me. I'll be telling the story when I'm in my cups for moons to come. It'll be some time yet before we've mapped the entirety of this vast expanse. It stretches north as far as the eye can see, inhospitable to even the hardiest of explorers. It's a wonder that the Garleans survived at all, let alone went on to form the Empire. Seeing the Magna Glaciers with my own eyes, however, I've gained some understanding of their disposition. Yeah, environment forms the character and all that. This is only hearsay, but I've been told those masses are forming and ceruleum bursts forth from the earth and comes into contact with the surrounding water, freezing instantly and capturing that moment of violence forevermore. Water mixed in prevents the ceruleum from being set aflame, so we can't use it as fuel without refinement. The amount of ceruleum you get after all that work is barely worth the trouble. Pure ceruleum is wrested straight from the earth. That's what those rigs you see off in the distance are doing, or so I thought. Here we are, safe and sound. I couldn't have done it without you, friend. Now all that's left is to deliver the goods. Let's enter those caves and get some shelter from these freezing winds, eh? Well, the goods have been safely delivered, but I'm afraid I have one more task to beg of you. Of course, I'd do it myself if I could, but I'm afraid this calls for someone with skills that I lack. You're not obligated to help me again, but seeing as you're already here, maybe you won't mind hearing me out? Freebird Garlemald. Let's hear it then. Armored up? So you found it within your heart to help an old friend once again, eh? Rest assured I won't soon forget your generosity. Now, on to the matter at hand. The people here have told me about the Magitech weaponry stored in the frozen tundra. With no pilots to guide them, they unleash their fury upon whosoever is unfortunate enough to cross their path. Several of the refugees attempted to combat the threat using a few abandoned suits of Magitech armor, but they were soon overwhelmed. It's not often you see Magitech turn on Magitech, but not much surprises me these days. Luckily, no one was killed during that incident, but the mindless machines are still out there, primed and ready for their next target. That's where you come in. The stories say you're a demon in Magitech armor, and I reckon you'd reduce those things into piles of scrap before I even felt the chill in my fingertips. Like I said before, I'd do it myself, but seeing as how I've never even ridden a suit of armor, I'd just be buying myself a ticket to an early grave. Rest assured, however, that I do my best to learn from your example. Anyhow, there's a suit waiting for you outside. I'll go ahead and ready it for you. Don't leave me waiting out in the cold for too long. Well, she's as ready as she'll ever be. I don't think I need to tell you this, but make sure not to bring those things near the cave. I'll stand watch from here to make sure all goes to plan. Stay safe out there, friend. Beam and blast. Now come. I prefer the from the Petarroyam dungeon. This feels rather clunky right now. Maybe I'm just too stupid to use it properly. Appears that way. I think I vastly overestimated the range of a pulse. There you are, safe and sound. See, I knew you'd make quick work of those heaps of metal. Doubtless they were used to deadly effect when the Garleans waged war amongst themselves. In order to ensure they fired upon their own countrymen, they were made to destroy anything that came within their sights. The fact that they've been causing trouble this far out is distressing indeed. I must warn my superiors upon my return. Before that, however, there's yet one more task I would ask of you. I fear I might be imposing overmuch, but you have my word that this is the last one. So, what else? A dream of home. One final task, and I won't bother you any longer. You needn't fight anything, at least not if you don't want to. No, this time I mean to make use of your more diplomatic faculties. One of my duties here is to find out whether the refugees wish to return home or not. Naturally, each will have their own decision and their own reasons, but getting a general feel for things will help us determine the best way to help in the days ahead. I gather what information I can from the people in the caves. You only have to speak with one man, but it may take a bit of work to find him. I've been told he ventured off toward the wreckage of the Imperial train. Now we could wait for him to return, but I'm running behind as it is. If you could do this, you'd be helping not only me, but all those who've been left behind without a home. just said the Magitech armor here? Alright. Now, speak. With a refugee. Here. Oh, it's not often I encounter someone else out here. If you've come here for ceruleum, I'm afraid this area has already been picked clean. I'm here to ask if you want to return to your homeland. Jarek has already asked me as much, but I suppose you must be thorough. Could you give me a moment? I would first like to offer a prayer to the departed. This wreckage was left in the wake of one particular fierce battle. A dear friend of mine journeyed here to search it for abandoned supplies, but a sudden explosion cut his life short. Although I had meant to offer him a lone prayer, why don't you join me? He always was one to enjoy the company of others, even those he scarcely knew. I've placed those stones to mark the spot of his passing. Pray to his memory, if you will. Thank you. Whatever sustenance prayers provide to those who have passed, I'm sure my friend is grateful for it. As for a previous question, well, I'm an Alamegan by birth and was taken from my home and family by the Empire, made to serve in the interminable wars. After 10 years, my hands were so stained with blood I no longer recognized them as my own. Days, weeks, years blended into one another until finally I was released from service. For the first time in a long while I fought for myself. Did my wife and child still live? Would they allow one so steeped in sin back in their home? Even now I cannot bring myself to consider the answers to those questions. So in short, I cannot say. Please, leave me with my thoughts. I won't be far behind, I promise. There you are, and even sooner than I had anticipated. What did the man say? I see. Such a tragic story, but sadly not an uncommon one. It seems that for some, the question of where home lies has no easy answer. In any case, we've done all we can at present. Let's return to the camp and report our findings to the contingent, no? I've gone to the trouble of submitting my report already, so you needn't worry about that. And as promised, that brings an end to my endless requests. Truth be told, my motivations for being here aren't entirely out of a sense of duty. My father was conscripted into the Garlean forces long ago, so when I heard that refugees had been found here, I had to meet them for myself. I volunteered for this duty, but unfortunately, none of the refugees stirred my memories of him. Still, I won't give up the search. No matter what misdeeds he was forced to commit, all I want is to see him again, to share a meal under the same roof. Some, like Jarek, seem resigned to accept this place as their home, but there are others, like my father, who have people waiting for them, searching for them. If I can see even one family united, then all of this will have been worth it. Although the road ahead is a long one, it's time I stopped forcing you to walk it with me. Thank you for all you've done, friend. Please take this. You've earned it 1,000 times over. Maybe he was her father. Who knows? Blast it all. Overgrown bastard got away again. If only there was someone we could turn to, but who? Oh, excuse me. Didn't see you there. Pardon my mumbling. Hold a moment. Let me have a look. Those eyes, that steady set jaws. Yeah, you're a doughty sort, aren't you? Perfect. You're just the woman I was in the market for. Our camp stores are being pillaged, plundered and altogether despoiled, which is troublesome indeed, as we have so little in the way of provisions as it is. Fortunately, the thieves left tracks. which Regalian hunters of the area tell us belong to a variety of yeti known as almasti. The wretches are so wily that once they have found the source of food, they come in droves, telling all their other accursed friends. So that leaves us with only one recourse: swift and bloody retribution. I was told to find the assistant of a master huntwoman, but you certainly can't find one of those just lying about. I was fretting about whom to ask when you fell straight into my lap. You seem as good a hunter as any, right? If you're willing to cooperate, and I'm sure we are, speak with the Imperial hunter just outside camp. He'll set you on the right path. Hold a moment, I know you. Yes, you're one of the Orsians who was brought to the station, aren't you? I was told that I would receive assistance from one involved in the contingent's decision-making processes. But I must say, seeing you here comes as a shock. You seem the sort of person as to be above the sniping of vermin. Sure you have the time to spend on such menial tasks? Sure. Very well, I won't press the subject any longer. Your assistance will prove invaluable, I'm certain. Now then, time's wasting. Let's reconvene in the Eblan Rime, the Almasti's territory. There we set the trap. This is the Almasti's land, and considering how prolific the things are, we shouldn't have to wait long before one comes slumbering by. But I forgot myself. Here, before we go a-hunting, here's specialty spirits. Not for you, of course, for them, the Almastis. Drown them with stuff and there'll be 3 sheets in the wind before you know it. There's no easier quarry to catch than a drunk fool, am I right? Also, once you've felt one, don't forget to collect a bloody chunk from it. To intimidate the others, or? Have you the bloody chunk I requested? I should hope you kept it in a bottle, for I would rather not have gore dripping all over the both of us. Good work. I must say, you've quite the mettle to face such beasts without so much as batting an eyelid. Though it was silly of me to expect aught else from the self-same woman who set foot into Tertian, knowing full well it was a trap. You must be wondering why the blood. Well, the Almastis are clever creatures. They won't willingly wander into dangerous lands, especially ones that smell of death. So sprinkling a copious amount of their fellows' gore about the encampment ought to ensure they give us a white berth. Let's head back to Camp Brokenglass. There you can tell the soldier who sent you to me that he was right to put you on the job. A warning. The hunters delivered word to me already of his plans to deal with our Yeti troubles. How clever a stratagem he's hit upon. If only the method went quite so macabre, shall we say? Almost surreal to consider that our whilom foes now aid us in our survival. Today has proven to me that we really can bridge the divide that once separated us from them. And all it takes is for us simply to reach out and offer a hand in friendship. I should like very much for this newfound partnership to continue. Yet. The hero never bombs. Aha! You do have a way of appearing at the most opportune times, don't you? I was only just thinking to myself, if only Desiree here, so to business. In light of our work to aid the people of Garlemald, the First Legion put to us an offer. Their service machina is ours should we want it, though as we've all recently learned, nothing is ever as easy as the Magitech in question still lies within the city limits. The self-same engineer who gifted us with this information has offered to escort you to the site. That's right, you. Mentioned you by name even. I would never force you to attend to a task so perilous, but it would be a great boon for our cause value to wrangle that machina to our purposes. The area in question is sadly littered with detritus of all manner, making exploration difficult if not impossible. To that end, here. This ought to blast, bomb, and demolish any barrier foolish enough to stand between our hero and her cause. The engineer awaits you outside the encampment limits. Find him when you are ready to brave the perils of a city. Okay. And something with bears. Just the person I was hoping to see. Might I interest you in a little hunting? Hunting? It's bears I'm after. If you've never tried their meat, I'd thoroughly recommend it. They're far from the easiest of prey, though I dare say you've faced much worse. If you're game, here's the plan. First we lure them out with his deer meat, which is also laced with sleeping portion. Then it's a simple matter of walking over and offing them in the manner of your choosing. What could be simpler? You have 3 ample servings of prime venison. Be sure to let the concoction take effect before swooping in to claim your prize. Okay, and the engineer. You came. I have expected you not to, given the dangers. Then again, you are a Eorzea's champion. What sort of hero barks at the face of a challenge? Forgive my excitement. I've been wanting to make your acquaintance for some time now. Yes, well, anyway, shall we often find me at Regio Urbanissima, and I shall escort you from there. Far easier that way, trust me. Oof. The other end of the map. Ludicrously massive bear. Well, this is a bother. The Magitech I have my eyes on doesn't seem to be quite as accessible as I'd hoped. There's just so much accursed wreckage in the way we won't be able to drag the thing out. Oh, pickle indeed. Hate to ask, but have you any brilliant idea up that sleeve of yours? I got some bombs. You've got some explosives on you. That will do the trick, certainly. Alas, I'm not at all skilled in Eorzean technology, which means there's a distinct possibility I blow my hands clean off if I try to tinker with such a device. Perhaps I could leave the blasting of objects to you? Rubble! Ah, you've made us a path. Very good, very good. Now my machina can finally get its day in the sun. The poor boy was originally meant to be used against the 3rd Legion to rain death and destruction upon them, but I lied to my superior officer, told him this machina was too far beyond repair to repurpose for any practical military use. Now it gets a second, far more peaceful chance at life, and I'm spared the grief of knowing I had a hand in spilling my countrymen's blood. When I was told to what ends it would be used, I couldn't believe my ears. This was not the empire I knew, the empire I believed in. I'd been taught that our country's cornerstone was peace, one founded upon the ways of science and machine. How can we make such a claim when internecine strife lays waste to our lands, kills our people? You may be Eorzean, but I see that your heart is true, so I know that you will answer me honestly when I ask, do you find the empire cruel and barbarous? Those you've invaded no doubt do. Yes, of course. It's the victors who write history, and I fear that Garlemald will be penned with no kind hand. We've seen to that ourselves. Even so, I still wholeheartedly believe in our founding principle. Unification under the banner of peace. Which is why I plan to put this war machina to better use. Like rebuilding our city for one. His days on the battlefield will be behind him once my tools have done their work. Thank you for allowing me this chance to talk so frankly. And for all the pyrotechnics and whatnot, of course. Well then, shall we be heading back? I'm sure your comrade Iliad is in want of a report about now. I see you're still in possession of a full set of limbs, which can only mean the hunt was a success. To be told, I heard from others in the field that the bear you encountered was rather more lively than we anticipated, and a fair bit bigger. What, you felt that brute all by yourself? Most impressive. But it would appear that the sleeping potion provided by Lord Emmanuel was considerably less effective than he'd led us to believe. As he tells us, he adopted this approach after incurring the wrath of his Lord Father for his inability to master more sporting methods. He spoke of his exploits with some pride, despite the tales hardly painting him in a favorable light. Still, in our present situation, we must forgo the thrill of a hunt and select the means which present the surest route to success, underhanded though they may be. Regrettably, the bears of this region are entirely immune to the formula. Or perhaps there was something wrong with it to begin with. In any case, no harm done, eh? To you, I mean, not the bears, obviously. Manolane. There you are, Desiree. I've already received word from our friend the engineer. He was rather fulsome in his praise of you. I must say, you are a credit to the cause. There's a lightness about him, one I hadn't seen when first you spoke to me. It was as if a weight had fallen clean off his shoulders. As a member of the Imperial Army, he is no doubt conflicted about the state of affairs. Perhaps speaking with you helped him gain a bit of perspective on the whole thing? Who knows? At any rate, allow me to thank you for your work today. We couldn't have done it without you. Who else needs our help? I currently intend to go for all the named characters. Help me to help you. I have a question. Do I look imposing? Intimidating, perhaps? No? So you must think it's strange I would ask such a thing. The truth is, I encountered a boy near one of the storerooms, and when I called out to him, he ran away at the sight of me. I was only trying to lend a helping hand. Later on, I learned that the place used to be a granary, so the lad was most likely searching for food. Now, thanks to me scaring him off, he probably had to go hungry. I couldn't live with myself if he starved because of me, or I fear he'd only run off if I tried to approach him. I wonder, perhaps you wouldn't mind going in my stead? You might find him more easily with his telescope. May the Kami guide you. You spot the boy carrying a crate in the direction of Liminal Station 4. What do you want? Saw me, did you? So what? Didn't do anything wrong. Finders keepers. And this food ain't just for me. The others need it too. I know you're just trying to help, but we can look after ourselves. If your friend's worried about us, tell him we'll be alright, until this food runs out anyway. Did you track him down? That's a relief, though his outright refusal of our help is concerning. We came here with the best intentions, but barely a moment's consideration for how the people of Garlemald might feel toward us. I suppose it's only natural they'd be wary. If they won't accept our aid, we can still make their lives a little easier. We start by making the area around the granary safer, so they can gather food whenever they please. Here, I'd like you to have this for giving me peace of mind. It's somewhat strange to meet with you someplace other than the Rising Stones. I can't say I'm enjoying the cold, but I'm doing what I can to survive. As it were, I've begun a sort of cultural exchange with the Garleans. I share with them songs of a wandering minstrel, and they share with me stories of Emperor Solus and the Assassin of Legend. Learning who their heroes are and what qualities they admire in people has been most edifying. I feel this venture will serve to deepen our mutual understanding and strengthen our nascent relationship. Orden's Cleanup Committee. Desiree, may I bother you a moment? I trust what has already reached you regarding the reclamation of the discarded weaponry? No? No? Truly? Then it's good that you found me. As you are well aware, in accordance with the truce, the First Legion has laid down its arms. Unfortunately, its soldiers laid down those arms wherever they pleased, and now they're scattered all over the city. Should you stumble upon, or more likely, trip upon, any of this aforementioned Imperial weaponry, we ask that you reclaim it and return it to us post-haste. Please gather up anything even vaguely useful looking, though we can probably draw the line at a plank with a nail through it. We already have enough of those. Alright. Have you any discarded weaponry on your person? Yes, that's just what we were looking for. Thank you for bringing it to us. It's said that each legion has its own unique weaponry, but to my eye, it's all much of a muchness. I suppose the similarities are owed to the fact they were mass-produced in the Enceladium? Perhaps when Garlemald still thought itself a republic and they first started employing Rogadan mercenaries, they sought to diversify their armaments in the same way as their troops. Of course, later advances in technology made it possible to churn out all sorts of weaponry at an alarming rate. I wonder, if they had never discovered Machina, what would the Empire look like today? Makes one think, doesn't it? Mama, she's in rubble deep. Please, a moment of your time. This poor girl, she has come all the way from the seat of the Empire, alone it would seem. I meant to ask what troubles her, but she can't catch her breath for all her tears, let alone speak. I'm not accustomed to children and their handling. I can never say the right thing, but perhaps you will have more success in calming her than I. Would you try to soothe whatever sorrow plagues her? smooth. If that was as easy in real life, huh? Thank you. I feel a bit better now. What I'm doing here? Well, Mom said we'd find some more food at your camp. But on our way here, one of our buildings started to crumble and a big bit of a wall hit my mom. And she's still trapped under it. I tried to pull her out, but Please, she needs help. My word. You needn't worry, little one. Help is on the way. This way. Follow her to her mother. See if there's aught to be done. I will round up a few soldiers to assist you, just in case. You mean it? You're really going to help me? She's just over this way. Quickly. Follow the girl and try not to fall behind. Mom, I'm coming. Awkward speeds. Please, we have to hurry. Right between those two wolves. Just a little further. Please help my mother. Her leg is trapped or such strength. Was that some sort of magic? Forgive me, I've begun to panic, thinking I'd be trapped forever. Thanks to you, I can walk again with my life intact. I'm so proud of you, my little soldier. How brave you were to seek help as you did. You must have been so scared. I was, but that's when I met this real little soldier, littler than me even, and he asked this nice lady to help us. So that's what happened. We were at the station when they announced the truce, so I know that we are no longer at odds, but even so, I imagine it's difficult for some of you to see us as anything more than the enemy. Your contingent is kind indeed to take us in as you have. It's more than I expected, to be sure. I was prepared for something of a fight, in fact. But so long as my sweet one depends on me, nothing shall stop me from making sure she's safe. We are survivors. Come what may. We set out for your camp once more. Farewell, man. You have my most heartfelt gratitude, and before I go, do give my thanks to that warrior my daughter spoke of, should she see him again. Good luck, you two. My men report that they found both the mother and the child making their way here, and have provided them the shelter and aid they require. I confess I was more than a bit surprised when the woman told me of your success in lifting the rebel. It sounded too tall a tale to be real even, but then I remembered who we were dealing with and felt foolish for doubting her. At any rate, they are safe and in our care now, all thanks to you. Alright. But I think with that I have done enough for one episode. Until next time, I'm Mace and don't get lost.